Hello, my name is Luka Bloom and you are watching Toasted.
Well, the first question is always the easiest one for me. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Luka Bloom even.
Well, we're talking now to a guy that has released a lot of albums and released another one in October this year, 2008. But it's slightly different from the last one because you didn't record it at home, but in the studio. Why?
I always like to be dictated to by the songs, and when I'd written about 20 songs for this album, I just had a feeling I needed to come out of my comfort zone and to do something a little more dangerous and be a little bit brave. And so I gathered a bunch of really great people and off we went to the country, and we booked this really big old farmhouse with a beautiful studio and spent 8 days there and recorded this album. I'm really happy with it.
Because in what way do you get a feeling like that? Because you didn't get it over at the last album, but at this album, why does something like that happen? Is it something to take time for and then really think about the way to record songs? Or
I generally, these days, I make my decisions fairly quickly, you know, and again, I devote a lot of time to writing the songs, and when the songs are written, then I just need to make a decision. Well, what way do I want to put this together? And one of the nice things about being a solo artist is that you can make these different choices. Like with Tribe, I completely co-wrote all the songs with this other guy. And this one, I wrote all the songs, but then I ended up basically making the album with a band.
yeah, because that's something different to recording it at your own home studio. Because right now you really recorded it together in a room. Almost like a live record.
Yeah, and that's the way I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a little bit dangerous, I wanted it to be a little bit uncertain, and I wanted it to be really pure, and I wanted it to have the feeling of people enjoying playing music together in a room. Pretty much like the old days when people, you know, great musicians would gather around together and just play songs and do it for fun. And but you've got to really trust the people. You've got to really be safe with the people that you're working with and know that they know what they're doing and that they want to do. That it's about the songs. It's not really about
The bass player or about the drummer.
No, it's not about the bass player. It's not about the drummer, and it's not even about me. It's about the songs. And if everybody is working together towards the same goal of making the song sound great, then something good can happen.
And did it happen? Because in the end, the result is something. The sound of the songs is in a way almost unexplainably different from a singer-songwriter album, because it's really open. It's where you can hear everything that happened in a room. I mean, even the touch of a snare, even you can hear everything.
That's how I wanted to do it. I wanted it to be open, and as like I said, I wanted it to be a little bit dangerous. But that's a beautiful thing, because these days everything is so controlled and everything is so safe, and people can edit out all their mistakes and everything. But this is a little more on the edge, and I wanted it to be.
And then still, the songs are Luka Bloom, but in a way also slightly different from what we know you from. Is it also something that's just part of developing into your own life and age and etc. etc.?
Yeah, it has to be fun and it has to be interesting. I'm not interested in going to a studio or just making the same record over and over again. I want to be challenged. Otherwise, it's boring. And if I get bored, how am I supposed to keep an audience interested if what I'm doing is boring to me?
Because it's like it's a trickless kind of working. It's starting all over again every time, I think.
That's exactly it. You've hit the nail on the head, and that also includes the writing. I deliberately stop writing for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6 months, so that when I begin again, I feel like a 17-year-old. I feel really frightened and I feel really insecure and I feel, oh, this is crap, it's all rubbish, it's shit. And then I have to really begin to try and find the confidence to create something beautiful. And you're right, it is like starting all over again, but for me it should be.
But in a way, because I really try to imagine how it is to write. If you started writing songs already for so many years ago, in what way you got to fuse yourself again, because you got to start. But then, what's the development in writing, and in what way does it go? Is it thinking, writing?
No, it's in not thinking, not thinking, not thinking, and not writing, and not writing, and not writing. It's in being, and it's in living, and it's so. Just as I say, I allow the records to be dictated by the songs. I allow the songs to be dictated by life. And if you were constantly writing, what are you writing about?
No, yeah, it's. I mean, I can imagine that's the way a songwriter thinks about writing music. Is you have a starting point, you get yourself a song together, and then develop it to an end result.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. But and that can happen with 10 or 15 or 20 songs, which eventually you want to put into a record. But what I'm saying is that it's equally important to stop. It's really important for me to stop and just not do it, and just to live life and to be with your family and be with friends and okay, do some gigs and do all that, but to just allow yourself to grow, so that then when you begin the process again, you're beginning from a different place.
And how do you feel in those months of not writing? Because you can't. It seems really hard to me to really stop thinking about songs.
No, it's a discipline. It's a discipline to not work.
I think it's even more difficult than work, because you really got to tell yourself over 10 times a day to not do anything at all in that direction.
Well, I've made 3 albums in the last 18 months, which is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It's too much, and it has to stop. So I'm not going to allow myself to write any songs for at least a year, because otherwise I know I'll make another record, and I don't want to. This is the record I want to be travelling the world with and singing for at least a year, 18 months.
Because that's the great thing. You don't want to write for over a year right now, but you're going to play everything you wrote for the next year, at least. Because I saw a little list of shows.
And that's just the beginning. That doesn't show you Australia or America from next year. So it's going to be a busy time, but that's what I want to do, and it really is about this record. It's not because I just feel like being lazy or something and not making any more records. I just really believe in this one, and I believe it's a very special record, and I think it's really important to honour that and not be running away from it, but to run with it.